I'm Mal, lover of character development and longtime fan of Percy Jackson.
And I'm Julie, currently at the dry humping stage of my Percy Jackson deflowering.
Always with the sex joke. And this is Demigod Debut while we're talking about Julie's first time reading The Lightning Thief. This time we have chapters 16 and 17.
Because this was like a lot of action, and you hate action, so it's kind of funny.
Was it really a lot of action?
I don't like it.
Chapter
Maybe
17 maybe, but I love chapter 17. Like, I love both of these.
You love the whole book.
I don't hate action either. I just don't care to understand it. I just kind of read for the vibes, and then I do, since I have on my Lightning Thief musical shirt, I do want to bring up your prediction from last time when you were talking about the motorcycle with the sidecar. And
Yeah.
it's important to me that you know that they do in fact do that in the musical.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes. Vindication.
I love the musical. I think it is one of the best book to media adaptations of all time, and I will die on that hill. And I think I've said that before, and I followed up the "will die on that hill" just like redacted. But I will unredact that and say I will die on that hill like Thalia. Thank you.
That was one of the spoilers.
It was, and it's not one anymore. Crazy, you like know things now.
We're almost done.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. Who would have thought we would have got here?
Not me.
I did half expect you to quit, but I feel like I'm too intense about things.
Do you know how badly I would feel if I quit mid-book?
Yeah.
I couldn't handle disappointing you like that, honestly.
Well, thank you for not. Okay, so chapter 16 was We Take a Zebra to Vegas. One of my favorite chapters of this book, honestly. So we left off, they had just gotten the shield, and Percy was like, oh, we have to go talk to Ares. So they meet back up with him, and he tells them that they looked good on TV, and Percy says that he's a jerk, and Ares really has no reaction to being called a jerk, but Grover and Annabeth are both kind of like, oh shit. Ares points to a truck that says Kindness International, Humane Zoo Transport, warning, live wild animals, and tells them that that's their ride west. It'll go straight to LA with a stop in Vegas. Ares also gives them a backpack of fresh clothes, $20, a pouch of drachmas, and a bag of Oreos. And again, with the giving them a stupidly low amount of money. Like, what are they supposed to get with $20? That's not even going to get them, like, a meal.
No, unless they go to, like, a gas station and buy, like, chips. Like, that's nothing. And they're children. These are children. These are, like, they're half-bloods. Well, except for Grover. He's, like, a goat thing. But children.
I know.
And these gods are child endangerment, honestly.
Truly. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you can just say that, like, the gods don't understand mortal money, but it, like, feels like maybe they should. Like, if you're making these children do favors for you, pay them for their time.
Also, aren't they supposed to be, like, all-powerful and smart? Like, come on. It's basic, like, economics 101. Hello.
Pay your workers. Minimum wage is not enough to live on.
Preach!
$20 is not enough. Anyway.
One thing about us, we're always going to bring politics into this podcast.
Oh, every time. Can't believe I'm the one that did it this time.
I know! I'm so proud.
But I don't know, maybe a crazy take, but I don't think it should be political to say that, hey, someone with a job maybe should be able to pay to eat and should be able to pay rent.
Preach.
And, you know, maybe if you're 12 and doing a favor for the gods, you should get more than $20. Yeah, okay. So it also doesn't say how many drachmas they got, so maybe they got like a bunch of drachmas and that was the payment, and he was just like, I don't know, $20. I don't know. I'm still on the $20. So Percy starts to tell Ares he doesn't want it, but Grover's like, thank you. And Percy recognizes, like, kind of in himself, that Ares' presence is making him really angry, but he still wants to punch him. And he says he doesn't want anything that Ares has touched. Percy notices someone at the diner take a picture of him and thinks about how he'll probably be in the papers tomorrow with a headline like, 12-year-old outlaw beats up defenseless biker. Percy asks for the information about his mom that he was promised, and Ares tells him she isn't dead. She's being kept as a hostage to try to control Percy. Percy then insists nobody's controlling him and tells Ares he's pretty smug for a guy who runs from Cupid statues.
Oh,
I know, I know.
I loved that. I love when he gets like snarky. I think it's hilarious.
Yes, love. Big fan of snarky Percy. Ares tells him that they'll meet again and to watch his back next time he's in a fight, and Annabeth tells him that that really wasn't smart because he doesn't want a god as his enemy, and especially not that god. But Percy, when it comes to Ares, is like one of those really small dogs who thinks that they can take on a much bigger dog. Like he is the Chihuahua, and Ares is the big old like Rottweiler.
Ares is kind of a piece of shit though. Like he's so annoying.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
I'm rooting for
For
Percy.
sure.
Like I would back up Percy.
All my homies hate Aries.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving. Have you seen that one Tumblr post that's like, oh, God thinks he's so funny toying with me. Well, I'm about to be hilarious. Have you seen that?
No. What is that one?
Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. It's just I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just some
Oh.
Tumblr post, but big Percy Jackson energy. Like
Mm.
this God thinks he can toy with me.
Hmm.
I'm about to be an even bigger asshole, and I love that for him. Oh, zoo truck time. Great.
Yes.
So they get into the zoo truck and it sucks. It smells, the animals aren't being taken care of. There's this albino lion, a weird antelope thing, and the chapter's titular zebra. And the lion has turnips, the antelope and the zebra have hamburger meat, and the zebra has gum in its mane, and the antelope has a balloon on one of its horns. And one of my AirPods just died. So
Rip.
that's good. It's okay. We'll keep the other one and we'll keep rolling. I just want to go boop.
Isn't it weird how one of them just died? It's like, why are you dying?
These AirPods are messed up because I ran in the rain with them on one too many
Uh-huh.
times. And so they like only actually charge half the time and then they like die really quickly and
Oh, that sucks.
big bummer. What is happening? What am I doing? Oh, zoo truck, animals, bad conditions, etc. And Grover's really pissed off, and Percy says he thinks Grover probably would have gone back out to beat up the truckers with his reed pipes, but then the truck starts moving. So they like switch up the food and give the animals a little bit of water and like try to take care of them a little bit, but you know, not a good situation for anyone involved. Grover curls up to go to sleep. Annabeth starts digging into the Oreos, and Percy starts thinking about how they have plenty of time to complete their quest since it's only the 14th. And Percy has a bad feeling that their quest is being watched, like he's a source of amusement for the gods. Annabeth apologizes to him for freaking out about the spiders, which she does not have to do. Like,
No apology. Yeah, spiders are fucking creepy.
yes, like she's the one who is correct here.
Yeah.
And then Percy guesses that it's because of the Arachne myth, where Athena turned her into a spider after a weaving contest. And the book really tells you like all you need to know about this myth at this point. But I'm gonna talk about it some more because of who I am as a person. So I also just think it's an interesting myth, as I think all of them are interesting. But Arachne was this like hugely skilled weaver who went around bragging that she was better than Athena, and so Athena disguised herself and went and like warned her not to compare herself to the gods. And Arachne was like, "Well, if Athena cared so much, she would come and stop me." So Athena's like, "Surprise, here I am." And they have this contest, and Athena makes this tapestry that depicts times that like mortals have been punished for their hubris by the gods, and Arachne makes one that like depicts times that the gods mistreated mortals, particularly the male gods, like disguising themselves to seduce women.
Mm.
Yeah. And then so either because Arachne's work insulted the gods or because Athena saw that it was better than her own, or probably both. It like depends on the telling of the myth. But Athena destroys her tapestry or like Arachne's tapestry and attacks her. Arachne is embarrassed and hangs herself, and Athena feels bad for what happened, and so she changes the rope into like a spider web and Arachne into a spider so that she can continue like weaving. Like you've got this myth, you've got like Medusa. In conclusion, Athena is not a girl's girl.
She's not a girl's girl. Oh my god. You're so right. That's devastating.
I know,
Absolutely devastating.
truly. Ugh, I don't know. The myth just does not reflect well on Athena.
Right. The gods don't give a shit.
Exactly. And you also have like a case of history being written by the victors here because Athena is absolutely going around being like, "Oh, I won this weaving contest because I was better," when like is that actually true? We don't know. And Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts on this myth that aren't actually relevant for a while, but it does really suck that like God's choices also reflect negatively on like their kids.
Hmm.
Because it's not Annabeth's fault that her mother created the spider and that the spiders need to take their revenge. Speaking of revenge, Annabeth says that Arachne's children have been uh taking revenge on the children of Athena, and if there's a spider within a mile of her, it'll find her. And this also makes me think, have you seen on Twitter that one like Sol de Janeiro lotion or whatever that attracts spiders?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. It has like spider pheromones in it or something.
Yes, that's what this is. And that's all I could think about.
Oh, first of all, hot take. I don't love the smell of the original Sol de Janeiro, like bum cream. I don't love it. Like the yellow one, I don't love.
I don't either, and I smell it often because they are always spraying that or like having it in my classroom, and I'm like, stop.
Oh my God. It's the now it's like the Gen Alpha girl version of Axe.
Oh no.
That's what it is, because it's not that good, but it's like a like very juvenile scent to me. And it's that
Mm.
girl's version of Axe now.
Yeah, I don't even know what the like spider one smells like because I've never.
Oh no, I'm not touching that shit.
No.
I don't want that anywhere. I'm like, I told my coworker because she loves trendy stuff like that. I was like, do not bring that into this office. If I see a wolf spider, I am burning down this historic building. I will burn it to the ground.
Oh, you also work in a historic building?
We're trying to get registered on the National Historic Landmark thing
Oh, cool.
for our 100, because our 100th centennial is coming up in 2 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, what is it the purple one that attracts spiders?
Yes, it's the purple one. I don't like any of them really. I don't think they smell good. Almost like canned. They kind of it's like the Ariana Grande perfumes. All of her perfumes smell very like teenage girl, like this smells like bubblegum. And so I'm
Mm.
like, whenever I see a TikTok of like a 24-year-old wearing it, I'm like, what are you doing? Buy actual perfume.
Get a real perfume. Be like us and go
Yeah.
to a place and make your own.
Yes. Or this is not an ad. Use Dossier because they make dupes of high-end perfume, and that's how I have so many perfumes because I'm not spending $178 on Prada perfume. Actually, I did spend $150 on Prada perfume, but that's the only exception because that Prada perfume is something else. She's built different.
But yeah, if it smells good, then do it.
But Candy, come on, grow up. Like leave that for the middle schoolers.
Anyway, the children of Athena and that Sol de Janeiro lotion are the same. In conclusion. So Annabeth asks Percy about the iris message that he had with Luke, and Percy tells her that Luke said that he and Annabeth have history and that Grover wouldn't fail this time. And Grover says he should have said something sooner, but he was worried that Percy wouldn't have wanted him to come if he knew that he had failed. And we get our official confirmation that Grover was the satyr who failed to get Thalia, daughter of Zeus, to camp safely.
Hello, we knew that. I felt like we knew
Yeah,
that.
we knew that. You knew that like weeks
Yeah.
ago. And Percy also works out that the two half-bloods that Thalia had been traveling with were Annabeth and Luke. And I'm realizing I wrote in this Google Doc that the two half-bloods Thalia was traveling with were Thalia and
It's
Luke.
all right.
My brain is not on ever, actually. Annabeth says that Athena guided her towards help, 14-year-old Luke and 12-year-old Thalia, and she traveled with them for about 2 weeks before Grover found them. And Grover says he had strict orders not to do anything to slow down the mission, but he couldn't leave Annabeth and Luke behind, and so he says that he made some mistakes and it was his fault that the Furies caught up with them and that Thalia died. Annabeth said she doesn't blame him, and Thalia didn't either, but Grover says the council says that it was all his fault.
Grover, it's not your fault, baby. I'm sorry I doubted you and said that you were going to be the one to betray Percy. I love you, Grover.
But, because, like, okay, you also have to remember that if Grover is 28 years old and satyrs age half as fast as humans, that would mean that when this happened 5 years ago, Grover was 23.
A baby.
And so divide that by 2. He was like 11 and a
A
half.
baby.
Like, who decided they were going to send an 11-year-old after this kid that you think is the daughter of Zeus? Like,
No, no.
surely there are older satyrs. Like, Percy even says when he gets to camp, like, there are a bunch of satyrs there who are bigger than Grover. Like, why did you send Grover other than for the plot?
It's unbelievable, honestly. Like he's just a baby. Like 11 year olds, like 11-year-old boys are not responsible enough to like de-thaw the chicken when their mom is at work. Like you think they can be responsible for another child's life?
So true. So true. Also, like, even if he was actually 23, I wouldn't trust him. Like,
A 23-year-old man? Hello, that's again like a 15-year-old boy.
yeah, I'm like, I don't even think I would trust myself. And I'm, you know, an adult woman.
Yeah. Like I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this responsibility.
Ugh. Yeah, so that's the incompetence in like sending Grover after them is truly, truly baffling. But Grover calls himself the lamest satyr ever, and Annabeth says he has more courage than any satyr she's ever met, and she says she bets Percy agrees, and then she kicks Percy in the shin to get him to back her up. Like, I know Percy can be an idiot, but does she really think he's that much of an idiot? Like, he wouldn't pick up on the clue that she's trying
Maybe
to.
because I feel like Annabeth is bad at reading social cues.
Oh, she absolutely is.
So like maybe she's like, oh, Percy's also bad at it. But Percy's I feel like very emotionally intelligent for his age.
He is, yeah. Some of that because they don't ever really give us an answer like canonically as to when he is supposedly like telling us this story, like when he's writing this down or like articulating it to someone or whatever. Like they don't ever say like when, but so
Yeah.
it's like, is he telling us this as a 12-year-old? Because if he's telling us this as a 12-year-old, he's like a very emotionally intelligent 12-year-old. Or he's like looking back on this as like someone who is older and so he feels more emotionally intelligent. I don't know. I'm not trying to like
Right.
not
Yeah.
say I don't believe that he's emotionally intelligent, but again, like he is a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah. We're not gonna give him too much credit here.
Right. Yeah, so Percy is like, I would have said like, yeah, I want Grover here even if she hadn't kicked me. And Percy tells Grover he's a natural searcher and he'll definitely be the one to find Pan, and Grover immediately goes to sleep. And ugh, I have so many thoughts about this little on the road found family that I'm not gonna talk about right now. But any thoughts from you on the Annabeth, Luke, Thalia, Grover of it all? I don't know.
I'm so suspicious of Luke. I really am. I'm like, I can't get over it. And also, I don't know. He's really rubbing me the wrong way. But also, I love Grover and Annabeth. I think they're adorable. I just want them to be happy.
They are the trio of all time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love them. Um, yeah, but I think Thalia, like, as a concept, is so cool because she's very much like this kind of ghostly presence. Like, Percy doesn't know her, like, we as the reader don't know her, but she like has
Mm-hmm.
this history with these characters that we're getting to know and like starting to love, and so then you're also like starting to get to know this like ghost of Thalia in a way that's oh so cool. And
Yeah, like she's very mysterious, but she's played such a formative role in the lives of the other two. So it's kind of weird how like you don't know really anything about her all that much. And but like her life and her death, I guess. I mean, she's not really dead, but she's a tree, so she's kind of dead.
yeah,
Has like fundamentally changed like Grover and Annabeth and probably Luke, that little skank.
and also like the way that what happened with her kind of changes things for Percy, because like
Yeah.
if not for what had happened with Thalia, I don't know that Grover would have freaked out so much when they saw the like fates cut the string on the bus, and which is eventually what like
Mm-hmm.
made him made Percy like run away from Grover, which is kind of what allowed the Minotaur like time to catch up with them, because he like ran away from Grover. And so it's like, you know, it snowballs. And I said I wasn't gonna get into it, but like I'm gonna get into it a little bit. But the way that like their the like Thalia's failed arrival to camp kind of parallels Percy's arrival to camp is so interesting to me. But we can unpack that more later. Yeah, she's just it's fun writing when you've got this character who's like not even in it, who is like dead long before our hero even showed up, but has like such a impact on the story. Chef's kiss. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Prequel book when. There is actually a prequel short story that's very good that I like a lot.
Ah.
I would like more. Like I would I honestly like anything that Rick Riordan writes, I will read. I have read just about all of it. Anyway, so Percy asks Annabeth about her camp necklace, and she explains the beads. And Percy asks if the ring on it is her father's, and she starts to say it's none of his business, but then she says, "Yeah, it is." And that's growth. Look at her opening up to him. Like, that's my baby, and I'm proud.
Mm-hmm.
She's making friends.
That aren't adults.
Friends that aren't adults and whatever she's got going on with Luke, because
Yeah, I don't like it.
yeah. She says her dad sent it to her, and it was his main keepsake from Athena because she got him through his doctoral program at Harvard. And a couple episodes ago, I was like, where did the ring come from? And I'm mad at myself for forgetting this detail because I'm like, oh yeah, when I read this, I was like, oh yeah, I know. Like I knew that. I knew the ring was from Harvard. But in my defense, I do try not to think about Annabeth's father more than I have to, and so that is why I did not think of that detail. Um, but Annabeth said, you know, she got this letter from her dad, and he said he missed her and asked her to come home and live with him. And so she did, but nothing had changed. Monsters attacked, they argued, and she was back at camp by winter break. Percy said she shouldn't give up, and Annabeth says, thanks for the advice, but my father has made his choice about who he wants to live with. And again, Percy is coming at this from the lens of like, my mom is the best person in the world, who I like miss, and who I'm on this quest to like try to get back.
It's so true. My mom is the best person in the world. It's like when you love your mom, she's the best. I am a fierce defender of moms with this episode and last episode. Moms are perfect.
Yes, if you have a good mom,
you have a good mom.
if your mom is Sally Jackson or your mom is
my mom, I just love my mom. She went and got gas for me because I'm broke. It's very nice.
Love mom. I also love my mom. Yeah. Okay. So, Percy and Hugh coming at this from the lens of like, my mom is the best person in the world. He's not really giving like objective advice and like giving the best advice for her, I feel like, but this is also me coming at it as someone who like is a Frederick Chase hater. So I also probably am being a bit too harsh, but anyone who hurts Annabeth has to go through me, and I will not stand for it.
He went to Harvard. That's a red flag.
It's all a red flag. I don't know, the way that she talks about it, you know, you can tell that she's really just pretending that she doesn't care. Like it actually really does hurt her, and which is so hard. Like get this girl a therapist. Get them all in therapy. Like the fact that camp does not have a therapist is yet
what the hell?
Yet another way that they are dropping the ball. I understand that in order to create a middle grades book series in which the kids are expected to save the world, the adults in the situation have to have some level of just like general incompetence. Otherwise, like your best option for saving the world is not a trio of 12-year-olds. And so
right.
It's just frustrating as an adult to read this, and you're like, oh my god, like why are they not taking care of these children? What?
Child endangerment, child negligence. That's not child neglect. There we go. It's all of the things. I'm calling CPS, but they won't do anything anyway. But in theory, I'd be calling CPS.
Oh, yeah. In theory, we are calling CPS.
And they are rescuing these children.
In theory, I'm adopting all of the demigods.
Not Luke.
He's 19. He's an adult. He's too old to be adopted anyway. So Percy asks if the gods end up fighting, will it end up being Athena versus Poseidon? And Annabeth says she doesn't know what her mom will do, but she'll fight next to him because, quote, "You're my friend, Seaweed Brain. Any more stupid questions?" Besties confirmed. Besties confirmed.
Ah.
Now, I will say, I do remember this from my first time reading this. When she called him her friend, I was so scared. I was so scared. I was like, she called him a friend. You'll be betrayed by one who calls you a friend. I was like, it's someone who literally calls him a friend.
Too literal.
Yeah, because I take things very literally. And who knows? She still might.
No, it's Luke. I know this. I'm convinced.
Then they both, and I got my hair's falling out of my little claw clip. This is my white girl hairdo.
We love a claw clip. Claw clips will not be disparaged on this podcast. I have 3 of them sitting right over here. No, I have 4. I have
Oh, look, I love a claw clip. I'm in a claw clip like daily.
I have a heart-shaped clip. Did you see this? It's a heart.
Oh my god, so cute. Mine, I just always have on this black one mostly, but I do have other colors. This one is a butterfly. I do like this one.
Oh my god, that's so pretty.
This is just turning into us showing each other our claw clips, which is like this is not good content for an audio medium. Like, I don't know. The podcast was okay, I guess, until in episode 6 they spent like 5 minutes just talking about claw clips.
And you know what? We were justified in doing so.
I mean, it's important.
Okay, continue.
Okay. So all the children go to sleep. That's where we're at. And Percy has a nightmare where he's taking a test in a straitjacket, and the teacher keeps telling him to pick up the pencil, and is like, "You're not stupid, are you? Like, pick up the pencil, just start." And
That is so mean.
I know this.
Not stupid, are you?
This dream, like,
does this trigger you as a teacher?
No. Well, this is like one of my favorite dreams. I think in the series. I think it's just it's a good dream, but I also, like, as an adult, I have stress dreams sometimes about the standardized testing and like waking up and realizing like, oh, I forgot my homework, or like, oh, I have this math test that I didn't study for, and like it's real to have school anxiety dreams. And like now as a teacher, I have so many kids who just have such high levels of anxiety surrounded like testing, and the emphasis on standardized testing in our education system is so whack and needs to stop. And this is one of the places that you can kind of see, like, Rick Riordan used to be a teacher and was also not a fan of standardized testing. I just like something about the way that schools are teaching reading does not seem to be hitting. And like maybe it's just and like I'm not blaming like teachers. This is more like a education system thing as a whole, but
curriculum
yeah, like
thing.
I get so many kids in middle school who like cannot read. Like they are not reading at the level that they should be, and it makes it really hard when you get into like more content specific classes in like middle and high school, like when you're taking biology or when you're taking like US history and like all these things that involve a lot of reading. Like if you can't read the material, like you can't really learn in the class. And so it's like
Right.
I don't know. And is it all a scheme to like make us less educated so that we're easier to control? I don't know, maybe. But
oh my gosh. That is an insane conspiracy theory. I've never heard that before. Oh, that's like something I would say though. Oh my gosh. That's insane. I've never heard that conspiracy theory.
Well, that's because this is the thing that I have political takes on versus like the things that you usually do. But I don't know. I'm still relatively early in my teaching career. Like I've only been doing this like 4.5 years, but it's just something that I feel passionately about, and like the way that our education system kind of perpetuates the systems of inequality that already exist, when really education can be such a tool of like freedom and empowerment for people, and it just like isn't in this country, some of which is because of the standardized testing, and some of it is because of just like the disparities between schools in different communities. And I could talk about this forever, and I will not, because that's not what this podcast is about. But Yeah, lots of education, hot takes for me.
Yeah.
So, Percy was having a dream.
Yes.
While he's in his little straitjacket, he looks over and he sees someone else, and it's this punk-looking girl, also in a straitjacket, and who he just knows is Thalia. And she says, "Well, Seaweed Brain, one of us has to get out of here." And Percy thinks, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna give Hades a piece of my mind." He finds himself at the pit again, and this time he's overhearing a conversation between the voice he's been hearing and someone else. And Percy says that the other voice sounds familiar, but he can't see who it is. And they talk about an exchange, and Percy not suspecting anything. The familiar voice calls the one in the pit the crooked one and asks if it was necessary because they could have brought what was stolen directly. And the pit voice says they will use Percy against Poseidon, and you will have the revenge and the reward you wish as soon as both items are delivered. And then Pit Voice realizes Percy is there and sends him to another scene where he sees his mother, and when he tries to step towards her, skeletons drape him in a robe with poisoned laurels, and the voice says, "Hail the conquering hero." Such a good dream. A great dream, even. I also kind of know what's going on here. So, thoughts from you? Any idea who the voices are? What's the vibe?
It's Luke.
Could it be? Maybe.
It's Luke. I've decided. Talking to Hades, my man, my mob boss, my beloved. I love him. Is that the end of the chapter? Or we still got? This was a kind of a long. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. There was a lot of because you have the truck, but then you also have the hotel, and we're about to get to the hotel. We're about to get to the hotel. So, the guys driving the truck come to check in on the animals, and they learn that the zebra is going to be dropped off here in Vegas to be in a magic show, and the zebra looks right at Percy and does like a mind telepathy thing and speaks to him. And Percy's first thought is that he can understand the zebra but not the other animals, and that this might be another learning disability. Then he remembers the myth of Poseidon creating horses and thinks that maybe it's because the zebra is like close enough to a horse so he can communicate with it. And it's time for another myth moment with Mal.
Myth moment with Mal. I love it.
It's good. Myth moments with Mal. So when Poseidon was creating the horse, he was doing so to impress Demeter, who is in fact his sister, but lots of
Ew.
lots of incest, lots of incest.
I'm calling the police.
Yeah, so he was trying to impress Demeter. So he was like trying to create an animal to impress her, which like ultimately ended up being the horse. But in his quest to make the horse, he is also kind of said to have made other animals that are kind of similar to the horse, like the camel, the giraffe, the hippopotamus, and then the zebra.
I'm sorry, a hippopotamus is not like a horse.
It's not. And
It's very much different.
yeah, when I was like looking at the other animals, because like I knew this myth, but I couldn't remember like what all the animals were. I just knew that the zebra was one of them.
Yeah.
And so I only found reference to like the hippopotamus once, but I thought it was funny, and so I left it in. And now I'm kind of wondering if it's actually meant to reference a certain other mythological creature that they meet in book 2. And it was just like misquoted, and I'm out here spreading misinformation on this podcast. But either way, him creating the hippo is a funny image. Yeah, but the zebra. So, really, theoretically, Percy should be able to talk to more animals than just the zebra, but none of those things are there. Also, though, I guess I can understand why the horse was considered the one that was like most impressive because of like the role that horses would have had in like transportation and like labor and stuff in farming, whatever. But I just think a zebra is infinitely cooler than a horse. Like if someone was trying to woo me and they were like, "Oh, I made you this horse," I would be like, "Hey, that's cool." But if they were like, "Hey, I made you this zebra,"
What if it was like a stallion, like a white stallion or something? They're so pretty.
I still think a zebra's cooler. Honestly, I would go for a hippo as well, or a giraffe. Like I think any of these animals.
Hippos are like very dangerous.
I know.
Like they'll kill you.
I know.
No. Get me. I don't want the hippo. I'll take the giraffe. But like a white stallion or something, I'd be very impressed. Not enough to have sex with my brother, but impressed nonetheless.
Well, and also by the time he like made the horse, he had like lost interest in her. So
Relatable. Okay, that's relatable.
yeah. So he does not end up with his sister. But yeah, that's the thing. You have to kind of ignore some of the family ties in these books a little bit to
Yeah. Yeah.
get past it. Because the gods are the gods. Anyway, so the kids release the animals right onto the Vegas Strip, and Grover gives them a satyr's sanctuary blessing, which will help them get to the wild safely. And Percy asks why he didn't do something like that for them, and Grover says, "Oh, it's only for wild animals." And Annabeth says, "Oh, so it would only work on Percy."
Burn.
And
Love it.
she cannot let him know peace, even though she will admit that they are friends.
Sometimes you gotta roast your friends.
Oh yeah. Honestly, like I think you really know that you are my friend when I start roasting you with like
Yeah.
fun, lighthearted roasts like that.
We're not being mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get up in front of this casino with a lotus flower sign, and the doorman invites them in. And Percy says one look at this guy and he could tell that he was normal, so he wasn't suspicious. But like, come on. They haven't showered in days. Like they look grimy and gross. Why would this guy just invite you into this very fancy Vegas hotel if he wasn't up to something?
Red flags everywhere.
Red red flags abound. And so the way that this hotel is described, when I was a child, I was ready to pack my bags and go there yesterday. Like I was like games, water slide, rock climbing wall, laser tag, bungee jumping, like every activity. As an adult, I actually already have my bag packed to go there when we're done recording this episode because
Can we go to Vegas sometime? How fun would that be?
oh my god, let's go to Vegas.
Like just stay at a casino or something, like lounge by the pool, go like do a little like gambling or something, go see a show or whatever. It'd be so
Oh my
much
god,
fun.
okay. Vegas. Vegas.
Yes.
I don't know, the allure of a hotel like this where like everything is taken care of. They have every activity you could dream of. I don't have to have a
It's
job.
like a cruise ship, but
Yeah, I don't have to have a
like
job. I don't
a
have to pay
hotel.
taxes. Like I don't have to know anything about health insurance. I'm like a month from turning 26 and I don't know anything about health insurance. Like what is a deductible?
Girly. Girly. It's time to grow up.
I mean, I'm not even like on my parents' health insurance anymore. Like I got my own through
Mm-hmm.
my job, but I'm like I don't know what I got.
What's your deductible? How much is it?
I don't know.
Do you have like a do you do like the plan where they take out money
I think so.
that's non-taxed and then you use it to pay your copay and stuff? Do
Yes.
you realize that if you don't use that within the year, you don't get it back?
No. See, I wanna move to a magical hotel where I don't have to think about stuff like this.
I'm just saying I didn't do that because I was like, I'm not gonna use it.
Okay, all right. I gotta look into some stuff after
We'll talk health insurance later if you want.
that. Thank you. Oh, God. See, like I wouldn't even care that the hotel is a trap. Like just let me vibe there, please.
Honestly, yeah, I'd be like, if it had like everything I wanted, like I'd just be like, just give me like Animal Crossing, the PBS Frontline, and like Sex in the City, and I'm good. Like, leave me alone.
See, this is good because I was gonna ask, like, what are the things that they could get you with in this hotel? Yeah, because I think for me it would be like the little activities
Mm-hmm.
because if it didn't tear my hands up, like I would rock climb for hours. I love a water slide. Like one of my favorite things to do is like any chance that I have to jump off of a boat, like into the ocean, I will do that like over and over and over and over and over. So like if I could just do like silly little activities like that, like I also love laser tag, I love bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Not all these things are even mentioned, but like
Yeah.
enough is implied that I'm like they would also probably have like batting cages. I love a batting cage. Um, I could go ham on some softballs.
Oh, batting cage would be
You
fun.
know,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah, like I'm like all these little fun activities. And if they're magical, I feel like I wouldn't really get tired. So I think I would have a good time. And I wouldn't have to know anything about health insurance.
I need like unlimited buffet.
Yeah.
And it's just no calories. You just eat whatever you want. And my mouth is already watering. I want like Chinese food really bad right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the children, they're given these casino cards. They get a suite on the top floor. There are clothes in the closet that fit Percy. Like red flags abound. And they finally get to shower. Percy also throws the backpack in the trash can, and then he drinks 3 Cokes, which is an
So
absurd
much.
amount of Coke. And and he has this like nagging feeling that he needs to talk to his friends about something, but he's sure that it can wait until later. And so they go and have fun. Percy does a bunch of stuff like bungee jumping and the water slide, and Grover enjoys this reverse hunter game where the deer get to kill hunters, and Annabeth plays a game where she gets to like design her own city. And okay, you said that like Animal Crossing would be how they get you to stay in the casino. Do we think Annabeth would be an Animal Crossing girly, or do we think it would be too like,
Maybe not Animal Crossing, maybe Stardew Valley.
ooh?
Yeah, I think she might like that.
Because I was like, design your own city. You get to design your own island in Animal Crossing. Like she would be the one with all the
Mm-hmm.
cute little paths, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like she would make like a school and stuff on there. Yeah, I could see it. But I think Stardew Valley, because it's a bit
Hmm.
more, there's a bit more like quests and stuff.
I've never actually played Stardew Valley. Animal Crossing is really the only game
Animal
I've
Crossing,
played.
I haven't played in so long.
Yeah. Me neither.
Anyway.
Anyway, Percy kind of starts to realize something is wrong when he meets this guy, Darren with an I, who is dressed like, quote, an Elvis impersonator's son and says stuff like groovy. So Percy asks what year it is, and the guy says 1977. He starts asking around and gets all different answers from people like 85, 93, and everyone insists they've only been there a couple days. Percy remembers that they have to find his mom and stop Hades from starting a war, and he finds Annabeth, snaps her out of it by like making her look him in the eyes and being like, big hairy spiders. And together they find Grover and they drag him out of the hotel. And Percy kind of notes as he's leaving that he has the backpack from Ares again, even though he threw it away. But they have bigger problems than backpack magic because turns out they were in the casino for 5 days and only have one day left to finish their quest. Now, okay, another myth moment with Mal.
Lotus Eaters,
Um,
Lotus Eaters.
yes, yes. I was gonna ask. I was like, did you have to read the Odyssey in high school?
Oh God, I hated the Odyssey. So long. So long.
See, I really enjoyed the Odyssey, but also because I had already read like these books, and so many of the things that happen in these books are based from like the Odyssey and the Iliad and like these famous
Yeah.
myths. And so I was like reading these books and I was like, the Lotus Eaters was like Percy and Annabeth did that. And there were like other things and I was like, this is unimpressive. Like Percy did this. Like
Yeah.
Annabeth did this.
I've seen this before.
Like I've seen it all before, but really like they're the ones that are copying. But I
Mm-hmm.
heard about them first. I don't know. I think this is a fun modernization of the Lotus Eaters
Yeah.
in making it this hotel instead of like because in the myth it's kind of pretty clear that they're going to this island and like taking drugs that make them forget that they want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you can't give 12-year-olds drugs in a children's book, so I just think the hotel is a fun way to do this. Now that you know how this chapter ends, did anything like clue you in to the fact that like they were gonna all of a sudden not have plenty of time to complete their quest?
Um,
Because I like when I was reading it back, I was like, wow, he really says like we have plenty of time, a lot of time.
yeah, there were a few times where, I mean, honestly, I was more focused on the casino's incredibly suspicious. Like, okay, like, what are we gonna do?
For sure.
And then I realized at the end, I was like, oh, it's called the Lotus Casino. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. But the timing thing didn't really, honestly, that kind of snuck up on me. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, wow. At first, I was like, that's kind of lazy writing. I felt like I was just like, oh, 5 days have passed. Okay, we're just skipping ahead. I was like, come on, give me something else.
All right, all right.
But
Interesting take.
yeah, are you gonna get mad that I criticize his writing style?
No, oh, absolutely not. I think you should be allowed to criticize things that you love, and there are things that I don't think is great writing. But
Also, I have to say before we move on to the next chapter, there are only one good type of Oreo, may I add, and it's the peanut butter Oreos. No other Oreos are even like edible. You can't eat normal Oreos.
oh, yeah. What do they have? Double stuff Oreos, I think.
Yeah, she just like
Yeah.
gave like unscrewed it. You know, took it apart, gave half. I was like, oh, gross. Peanut butter Oreos.
Yeah, my dad really likes double stuffed Oreos. I can't do it. The only Oreos I can do, the peanut butter ones are okay.
Best ones.
I like the thin ones. I think the thin
I
ones
don't
are
like
good.
the cream, like the white cream. I would literally scrape it off and just eat the chocolate cookie.
All right. Chapter 17. We shop for waterbeds. So they get into a cab and they ask the driver to take them to LA, and they ask if he takes casino debit cards. And so he like swipes their debit card and it shows up with like infinite
That's
money.
such a dumb thing. Like that's not what was.
So dumb. It's so dumb. But then he calls Annabeth Your Highness, which she seems to like, and as he should, because she is the people's princess. Welcome back, Princess
Mhm.
Diana.
God.
Percy tries to tell them about the dream that he had, but he can't really remember the details. Like he can't place the voice that he heard, and he can't remember the name that like the servant had called the voice in the pit, which is really unhelpful, but they can't give us too much yet. There's still like 6 chapters to go. Annabeth seems to realize something, but she is also unhelpful because she's like, no, it has to be Hades. But Percy points out that she looks pale, so she clearly knows something. And Percy says that the voice said it was waiting for 2 items, so if one is the bolt, then what is the other? And Percy feels like they're missing a critical piece of information, but the problem is they don't have time to be wrong.
The second thing is a true love's kiss. The big old kiss on the lips for Hades.
One of the more unhinged things that you've said.
I would kiss the guy who plays Hades in Hades Town. Absolutely. 100%. Anyway, sorry. I'm thirsting over Hades over here. What? That guy's hot. I will not. I will not take any criticism on that. I'm right.
Oh, what I was expecting. Okay, so the bolt and a smooch for Hades. So they like make it to Santa Monica. Percy goes into the water. He gets to like pet a shark like a dog, which is cool as hell. And he grabs onto the shark, and the shark takes him deeper into the water. And he sees the same woman who spoke to him in the Mississippi. She said she's a nereid, and Percy asks why his father didn't come himself, and she tells him that Poseidon is forbidden from helping directly and gives him these 3 pearls. She asks if he has the skill of Orpheus or Hercules or Houdini, who are all mortals who
Orpheus!
Orpheus, wherever he is now. And so these are all mortals who apparently went to the underworld and survived. She also tells him that the Oracle foretold a great and terrible future for him if he survives to manhood. She tells him good luck, and Percy tries to ask about the warning she gave in the river about not trusting the gifts, but she disappears. Anything else from this conversation that I missed? Because I really just tried to summarize it as short as
Nope.
possible.
I think that was it. That's all that stood out to me.
Great. So they kind of travel around LA looking for DOA recording studios. And another example of me being stupid, I didn't connect DOA records with like the acronym for Dead on Arrival until I was in my 20s, and they say it in one of the
Oh,
songs in the musical.
that's so good.
Right, it's such a good joke. It's such a good joke. And I'm glad you also didn't connect
Yeah.
those
No, that's
dots.
good. I like that.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's an underappreciated joke that I just did not recognize until all of a sudden I heard it in the musical and I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. They see Gabe on the TV again with his quote unquote grief counselor.
Excuse you. Smelly Gabe.
Smelly Gabe, I'm sorry. Gotta use the full government name. Smelly Gabe.
Full legal name.
Smelly Gabriel. Um,
Yeah.
with his grief counselor crying about how Percy took everything from him, his wife, his car, and Percy,
What a little bitch.
ugh,
You got owned by a 12-year-old boy.
Gabe sucks. Percy really wants to punch a hole in the store window. They get surrounded by this like gang of kids, and so they run from them into this place called Krusty's Waterbed Palace. They meet Krusty, who Percy describes as looking like a raptor in a leisure suit. He's also 7 feet tall. And so he starts showing them waterbeds. Grover lays down on one to test the million hand massage, and Krusty ends up pushing Annabeth onto another one. Then he like snaps his fingers, says ergo, and she's tied up. And Grover tries to get up, but ropes tie him down too. Krusty says he has to make them fit. And he tells Percy that he's Procrustes, and Percy remembers the myth. There's not much really to this myth, but uh Procrustes was a dude who invited travelers in and was like, come lay on my bed, and then he stretched or amputated them to get them to like fit his bed. And like the Procrustean bed is kind of a phrase that people have used to like reference forcing something to fit in like an unnatural way, which I didn't know. That was news to me. And he's also killed by Theseus in the myth the same way Percy does in this book. And also Procrustes' dad is Poseidon, so good family reunion here. I I just enjoy this scene for a lot of reasons. Like, I love when Percy can talk his way out of something, like when he kind of plays along with Krusty and like starts talking to him about the waterbeds eventually being like, "Oh, it would even work for like a tall guy like you. Like, why don't you show me?" And then he like snaps his fingers and ties him up and gets him on the bed and then cuts off his head. Very manipulative and very cunning, and I just enjoy the times that we get to see Percy be like the strategist.
Very shrewd, yeah.
I like getting to see Percy be the strategist because it feels like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it's like, oh, Annabeth is the smart one, but like Percy's very smart too. Um
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's fun when a character gets to outsmart their opponent. Like it's not just about him being it's not about him being strong because he's 12 years old. Like he's not going to take on this like 7 foot tall guy. Um but I don't know. I really love this scene.
Very satisfying.
But also argument for Krusty being queer coded begins and ends with this outfit that he is on, like paisley shirt unbuttoned a little too far, velvet suit, bunch of chains around his neck. Like I currently have on 3 different necklaces. Like it's a gay fit. It's a gay fit. So Percy frees Annabeth and Grover, and he also tells Annabeth she looks taller, which again with them like kind of ribbing each other. I
The
love it.
banter. I love it.
The band the banter. The banter. Um and they find the address for DOA recording studios and on a flyer that's offering commissions for heroes' souls, and Percy tells them to come on, and Grover says, "Give us a second, we almost got stretched to death." And Percy says, "Well, then you're ready for the underworld." And that's where we end. So, thoughts on waterbeds, on going to the underworld?
I hate waterbeds, honestly. They freak me out.
I've never laid on one. I don't think I want to.
Mm-mm. Also, I love did Percy like decapitates Krusty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very nonchalant. Like
Sure does.
he's just like 12-year-old boy, just I'm just gonna commit the most gruesome act of violence I have ever done in my life.
Well, but this is his second decapitation because he also did it to Medusa.
Yeah, but like he wasn't staring at her.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this was intimate.
That's true.
Like the guy's tied down in the bed. Like,
well, okay, in the book it does say in the final thing, like Krusty gets tied to the bed and he starts like making offers to Percy. He's like, "I'll give you 30% off, no money down, no interest." And Percy goes, "I think I'll start with the top." And then he said, "I swung the sword," and Krusty stopped making offers. So it's like implied that he decapitates him.
yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, definitely gruesome. Definitely gruesome.
Yeah, he's gonna need a good therapist after this one.
They all already need a good therapist.
So true. So true.
Yeah. So the one thing besides the next chapter predictions that I wanted you to do is I wanted to revisit the prophecy.
Just read them to me again. I don't even remember. You have to furnish me with them.
So the first one, you shall go west and face the god who has turned.
Okay. Well, they're all the way on the west coast. The god who has turned is Ares. I don't know. That's
you shall find what was stolen and see it safely returned.
okay. They find the bolt and they return it.
You shall be betrayed by the one who calls you friend.
Luke.
And you shall fail to save what matters most in the end.
I have an additional prediction for this.
Okay.
So it's again his mom. Like he's not gonna be able to save his mom. But I was thinking that Percy's gonna be forced to make a choice to either save his mom or like Grover and Annabeth is gonna get themselves into like some trouble down there. And so he has to pick who he's going to save. And he picks either I don't know if I feel like it might be Annabeth, but I don't know. Or Grover. I don't know. I don't know if it's either Grover or Annabeth, but I think that they're gonna get into some hairiness down there, and he's gonna be forced to choose to save one over the other.
Interesting.
Listen, you know what my first prediction for this reading was? No happy endings for Percy. His mom dies, also Grover dies. Just
it's a kid's book. It's a kid's book.
I'm trying to make it better. Okay, give me some drama. Give me.
It's interesting that every line of this prophecy starts with like you shall go west, you shall find, you shall be betrayed, you shall fail. Like I don't know. It just feels it's interesting that it all starts the exact same way. Like none of the other prophecies I can think of in this series like all start the exact same way like this. And maybe it's just because it's the first one and he didn't know how to write a prophecy, but like I was just kind of like, "Huh, this is interesting." It's nothing, but just a thing that I noticed. Great. So, upcoming chapter predictions. So we'll do 18, 19, and 20.
Oh, you're making me read 3 again?
Yes, because I want to do 21 and 22 as like the final one. I know, it's a weird number. Oh, well, you've already made your 18 prediction several times, but 18, Annabeth does obedience school.
Yeah, she's a dog. Annabeth is a dog. Wait, what exactly did it write? Yeah, Annabeth turns into a dog. That's literally what I wrote on here. Annabeth turns into a dog.
Last time it was specifically a beagle. Any new breed predictions?
She gives off beagle vibes. Will not be elaborating any further.
Yeah, my mom sent me an Instagram reel the other day, and it was about like a beagle. It was like trying to cook with beagles, and they were like jumping up on the table. And I feel like Annabeth does give like feral energy sometimes. So
yeah,
I can see it. Chapter 19 is we find out the truth, comma, sort of.
I feel like it's too early for them to find out who like did it. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna guess this is like a relative truth type thing. I don't know. This is in my defense, this is a much more vague title, I feel like, than the other ones.
It is. It is very vague. And then I battle my jerk relative.
He's got to be fighting another kid of Poseidon. I don't know all the kids of Poseidon though. Does he have many, or is it just Percy?
Like another demigod child, or like another, because like Procrustes is a child.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay,
another crusty.
I see,
but like worse. Yeah, crispy.
Do you think crispy? Yes.
Although arguably crispy, I feel like is a better word than crusty. Annabeth
is a beagle. There's a relative truth, and we battle Crispy.
Yeah, we battle Crispy. That's what I got.
Fantastic. Yep. All right, well, I will see you next week for Annabeth's Beagle arc when we read chapters 18 through 20.
Oh, sounds good. I look forward to the Beagle talk.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you want more of our unhinged selves, you can find us on Instagram, the social media formerly known as Twitter, and now TikTok at DemigodDebutPod. You'll find me there posting memes and other fun little things while Julie avoids social media because spoilers. You can also email us at demigoddebut@gmail.com. Catch you later. Bye!